The latest. Thank you for your love and support. The ex-president of Burkina Faso, Paul Henry Damiba, is to be brought back to Burkina Faso for trial. According to reports, ex-president Damiba is in Togo. And now, our all-in-all Captain Ibrahim Traoré is saying that there are negotiations ongoing with the Togolese president so that they will allow Paul Damiba to come back to Burkina Faso to face trial. And that the man is an ex-president and he has to be treated with some kind of respect. So for that reason, they can't forcefully bring him into Burkina Faso if the Togolese government do not give the go-ahead for this man to be brought back into Togo. These are the people that want to lead. A person like the ex-president of Burkina Faso, because of his selfish interests, do not want the country to progress. When our captain came, our all in all, the pure and the true son of the soil took power, we have seen a tremendous progress in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is now an amazing and a wonderful place to live. So why would you have a problem if truly you are having the interests of the people at heart? If truly Burkina Faso is a better place that you want to see, why will you now team up with your oppressor to fight and allow the same people that you want to lead? Why is it that African leaders always want to team up with the oppressor against us? And this man have to be brought to book. He has to come back home and face justice for the crimes that he has committed. Look at the people that lost their lives, those who are still injured, just because of your selfish ambition to become the leader of Burkina Faso. You don't care. If truly you want to lead these people, why should you be interested in hurting them? United we stand, divided we fall. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Burkina Faso.
On January 24, 2022, Damiba led a group of soldiers in a coup that ousted then-President Roch Kabore. The justification? A claim that the government had failed to address the mounting security crisis. Damiba's coup was seen by many as a necessary evil, our analyst explains. The people were desperate for change, for someone who could tackle the jihadist threat head-on. The people were desperate for change, for someone who could tackle the jihadist threat head-on. Damiba, with his military background, seemed like the right man for the job. He vowed to restore security within 2 to 3 months, and pledged to return the country to civilian rule within 21 months. These were ambitious goals, to say the least. But the numbers tell a grim story. Despite Damiba's military background and his promises, the security situation in Burkina Faso continued to deteriorate. Jihadist attacks increased, and more territory fell under militant control. In the first 6 months of Damiba's rule, over 530 security incidents were recorded, resulting in nearly 2,000 deaths. This was a significant increase from the same period in the previous year. But it wasn't just about security. Damiba's economic policies also came under scrutiny. Unlike his successor, there's no evidence that he made any significant changes to government salaries or implemented major economic reforms. The country continued to grapple with high inflation and rising living costs, further fueling public discontent. The ousted junta leader, Damiba, was widely seen as too closely linked to France. When he was overthrown, there were protests outside the French embassy in Ouagadougou and the French Institute in the city of Bobo-Dioulasso. The attack on both institutions came after the coup leader Ibrahim Traoré accused France of giving refuge to the deposed Damiba and planning to attack Burkina Faso. Damiba is believed to have taken refuge in the French base at Camboinsin in order to plan a counter-offensive to stir up trouble in our defense and security forces, said Traoré. The French embassy issued a statement, firmly denying any involvement of the French army in the events. It also denied rumors that Burkinabe authorities have been hosted or are under the protection of French military. The coup came after several hundred people demonstrated in Ouagadougou to demand the departure of Damiba and the end of the French military presence in the Sahel. Before his overthrow, public frustration grew. Protests began to erupt in the capital, Ouagadougou, and other major cities. People who had initially welcomed Damiba's takeover were now questioning whether he was any better than his predecessor. And then, just 8 months after seizing power, Damiba found himself on the receiving end of another coup. On September 30th, 2022, a group of junior officers led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré staged a takeover, citing Damiba's failure to improve the country's security situation. At just 34 years old, he became the world's youngest head of state when he took power. But what sets him apart from Damiba? While both men came to power through coups, their approaches have been markedly different. Traoré has positioned himself as a man of the people, drawing comparisons to the revered Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's revolutionary leader of the 1980s. Traoré has made some bold moves. Reports suggest he slashed top government officials' salaries by 30% and increased civil servants' wages by 50%. Ibrahim Traoré has his hands on major economic sectors of Burkina Faso, as he is in a hurry to develop the country. Damiba, who's been living in exile in neighboring Togo since his ousting, is now facing potential extradition back to Burkina Faso. Why? Because he's allegedly been caught red-handed plotting against the very country he once led. In a recent radio interview on October 5, 2024, Captain Traoré dropped this bombshell. For some time now, his proven involvement in these destabilization projects has become evident, especially the last project where he was linked to jihadists. Let that sink in for a moment. A former president, allegedly collaborating with jihadists to destabilize his own country. It's the kind of plot twist that would make even the most seasoned screenwriter blush. But here's where it gets complicated. Damiba is currently in Togo, and extraditing him isn't as simple as just asking nicely. Traoré explained that discussions are underway with the Togolese government, but it's a delicate diplomatic dance. "We are handling the situation carefully," Traoré said, "because in all honesty, we did not want to behave unpleasantly in the early stages with a former president. Whatever one may say, he is still a former president." Before his brief stint as president, he was a decorated military officer with experience fighting jihadists. He even wrote a book titled West African Armies and Terrorism: Uncertain Responses, published in June 2021, just months before he seized power. Damiba's military career was impressive. He graduated from the Military Academy of Kadiogo and received training in France, including at the prestigious École de Guerre. He was known for his expertise in counterterrorism and had served in various military roles, including as a commander in the fight against jihadist groups. But somewhere along the line, something changed. What could drive a man who once fought against extremists to allegedly collaborate with them? Is it pure power hunger, or is there more to the story? Power can be a potent drug, our expert explains. Sometimes the desire to regain lost influence can drive people to make desperate choices, but we also have to consider the complex web of alliances and rivalries in the region. What looks like collaboration from one angle might be a different kind of strategy from another. It's crucial to understand that the situation in Burkina Faso doesn't exist in a vacuum. The entire Sahel region has been grappling with jihadist insurgencies, cross-border conflicts, and political instability. Countries like Mali, Niger, and Chad have all experienced coups or... Are there broader geopolitical forces at play? Could external actors be involved in these destabilization projects Traoré mentioned? But let's not forget, these are still allegations at this point. Damiba hasn't had his day in court yet. Burkina Faso has seen 2 coups in less than a year, and now a former leader stands accused of plotting against the state. This isn't just a Burkina Faso problem. Across West Africa, we've seen a resurgence of military takeovers: Mali, Guinea, and Chad. And many ask, what does this mean for democracy in the region? Or is democracy the cause of the problems? The root causes of these coups are complex.